Hello and welcome back to the Kellenberger Library's Primo tutorial series. This is the second half of the search results video. The focus this time is going to be on this left-hand panel, which has all kinds of features that are designed to let you weed out things that aren't useful to you. But I'm actually going to start up here because there are three filters that are reproduced up here to make it really easy to do stuff. The first one, starting from the right, is available in the library, which means items that are physically in the library. In this case, there are 4 of them, and if you click on that, you go to 4 results. All of these are books on the shelves at the library. Notice that they all have a title, they all have a details tab. You can see that it is available at NCU Kellenberger Library. That's us. OpenStax means you can check these books out. This is library jargon. And then a call number shows you exactly where on the shelf you would look to find the book. Down here we've got a couple different labels to deal with. The first one is virtual browse. It's kind of fun. It can be kind of useful, but isn't necessarily most useful. Pardon me. The book you're looking at here has this border outlined around it, and it's got its call number again down here. And this particular item is a conference proceeding. It doesn't have a fancy cover to look at. Right next to it on the shelf should be this item, Dyslexia and Hyperlexia. Notice the call numbers are very similar. They only differ in the last digit here. And likewise, next to that one is going to be Handbook of Personality Disorders, and so on and so on. Traditionally, you'd come into the library and go to the shelf and do this, but you can do it right here from the comfort of your own home and decide to come in tomorrow and pick up a book, or you can ask to request it. Let's go take a look at the Get It tab now and see how you'd go about looking to request an item. So when you click on the Get It tab, you get the book again. It gives you the call number again. It tells you what type of item it is. It's a book. The loan policy, this is a 120-day loan. That's because I'm faculty, and faculty get longer loan periods. And then the status, item in place, which is more library jargon for should be on the shelf right now. If you're sitting at home and you say, wow, I really want this book, but I don't want to have to come into the library right now to get it. I want to pick it up tomorrow when I'm on campus. Click the request item here. And that will fill in all the details about the book for you. It's not even going to show you those because it's already taken care of them. But it does give you a few options that you can set to make things a little bit easier for yourself. Material type, you don't really have to worry about. You can just leave that blank unless you're looking at something that has both a book and a DVD with it, or a book and a CD or something like that, and you only want the book. Well, you'd say book here. But you shouldn't ordinarily set that. Terms of use you don't have to worry about. Pickup location, this one, note the red asterisk there, is mandatory. And really the only location that makes sense is Kellenberger Library. Not needed after is the same as with the articles. You can click on that, get a calendar, and say, yeah, I'm not interested if it takes more than a week to get here. And a comment is where you can just leave a comment about anything you like, really. But I'm going to cancel out of that because I'm not going to do that, and come back here to get it. Same with any other book that's in OpenStax. If you come across a book that says it's in reference, those don't check out. There are some other collections we have that also don't check out, but by and large we check out most of our books. But this is the modern age, so what's available in the library may or may not be all that useful to you. So let's look at the next category, full text online. What this means is it doesn't matter whether it's a magazine article, a journal itself. All of these things, if it's available online, will be made available here. Notice 8,700 items are available as full text online out of 85,000. So click on that, and we get to see that there's a journal and a journal. Both of those we've looked at already. Reference entries. All of these things are available online. You don't need to come into the library to see them. I'm going to get rid of that. And then peer-reviewed journals. For most upper division undergraduate students and for most master level students, this is where you're going to spend a lot of time. This one removes everything that is not an article from a peer-reviewed journal, and it gets you to just the articles. They should all say peer-reviewed journal after here, which really means the journal is peer-reviewed, not that the article is. Um, and then you've got your View It tab, Details, Reviews, and Tags. Click View It. You've got a bunch of different sources. We looked at those already, but sure enough, you can view it online. And the same should be true for all of these journal articles. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you want stuff that's, not, you want, peer-reviewed journals, but you just want a specific subset of those. So come over here to the right hand side. The first thing I'm going to show you though is not a filter. It doesn't eliminate things, it actually adds things to your list. It's called Expand My Results. If you are doing a literature review, as many master's level students do at some point in their career, you will want to review articles that are both online and easily available to you, and not necessarily online, and you may have to work to get them. So here, for example, I've clicked Expand My Results, and I have an article that apparently we can't get. We don't have full text for it. It's not in the library. We'd have to go someplace else for it. Easy enough to do. Click the Get It tab, borrow from another library. Almost all of the information is filled in for you, which is really nice. And again, you come down to the bottom here. This time we've got a few more options. So first off, you can do a physical format, which means that the item gets printed to paper and left at the library's hold shelf for you, so you'd go to the library's front desk to get it. But if you choose digital, then what you get is the opportunity to email it to yourself. You can use any email address here. It does not have to be your NCU email address. Pickup delivery location, that gets set for you and doesn't necessarily need to be changed. You've got your not needed after and your comment fields, and then you've got maximum fee. Kellenberger Library does not charge to handle articles in this way for you. It's called Interlibrary Loan, or ILL for short. We don't charge money for this, whether it's articles or books. Most other libraries don't charge for this service, whether it's books or articles. Some libraries do, however. When you click the request button here, you don't know, and we don't know, which library is actually going to be able to fulfill the request. If we only find the article available at a library that allows, or, that charges a fee, do you want to pay a fee, or do you not want to pay a fee? If you don't want to pay a fee, you could type a 0 in there or just leave it blank. If you do want to pay a fee, specify the maximum fee you'd be willing to pay, $5, for example. And that just lets us know that, if it goes over $5, you don't want to get it from somebody else if you possibly can. Otherwise, don't get it at all. For some kinds of things, books, perhaps, not only can you wait a little while to get the book, you don't have to have it within the next week, but also you might be willing to pay for it for at least just a little bit. That's entirely up to you, and I'm going to close the Get It tab there. So that expands your results rather than restricting them. I'm going to uncheck that, so now we're just looking at the full results list, 85,000 items. Okay, these three are the same filters as these three up here. They're just organized with the other filters so that they're easier to use. You can refine your results or apply filters to your results to get rid of stuff that you don't want using any of these things down here. So I'm going to go through them type by type, and you'll see what they do. Resource type lets you say, well, look, I only want newspaper articles because you're doing a research project that involves newspaper articles, say, or dissertations or book reviews or only books, something like that. You can click on any one of these and it will just restrict your results to that. Or if you decide that you want to choose more than one option, just click here where it says more options. Now you've got a series of check boxes here. And let me demonstrate by way of example here. We're going to dissertations and books. Dissertations are, of course, the products of doctoral students' research, and they are sometimes published and made available. We have access to quite a few of them, and they can be really useful to you or not. And in some ways they're like books, and in some ways they aren't. So You make your selection from the choices available, and by the way, this list and all of the lists for filters are compiled from the results that you actually have. So in this set of results, there's at least one research data set, there's at least one reference entry, and so on. And what we're going to say is, anything that's a dissertation or anything that's a book, we want to see them. And you click your continue button down here, and now we're looking at 77,000 items. Okay, well that's a bit fewer. And a lot of these are books. Let's see, somewhere down here there should be a dissertation. Different annotation here. You can, at least in theory, see it. And this one's interesting. It is in, well, it kind of looks like Swedish to me, so we're going to go with that. It's in Swedish. We don't know whether it's available in English or not. I'm going to click on the View It tab here and let's see what we get. So here it is. It comes from Linnaeus University. That's good. It's a master's thesis. Dyslexia awareness and discriminatory potential. Well, it appears to be in English, which is useful. So that's kind of nice. But I'll show you in a minute how to restrict yourself to only articles that are in English rather than articles that could be in any of several different languages. So that's one kind of filter. And if you look up at the top here now, you'll see we've got resource type books and resource type dissertations. And you click the little blue axis to get rid of either one of those is fine. And it gets rid of it and it adjusts your results accordingly. I'm going to get rid of both of those. Then we're going to come down here to subject. I mentioned subjects previously. These are applied to articles. They're very specific and they can really help you focus down on what you're looking for here. So let's say, for example, in the context of dyslexia, I'm really interested in children. So now I'm going to weed out articles that are not about dyslexic children. Or rather, articles that are not about the word dyslexia and the subject children. And you can see here that we've got 1,000 of them. That's a pretty good number. And they come in all shapes and sizes. Not all of these are necessarily articles in peer-reviewed journals. In fact, most of them are not. But you can see that a lot of them do appear to come from peer-reviewed journals, and that's quite good. And then you can do all the usual stuff with that article. I'm going to get rid of the subject heading again, and we'll keep on going down our list. If you've got a particular author whom you are following, you can choose that author or those authors, and exclude articles by other folks. You can use a creation date. So this is usually the publication date for the article or book, but not always. And it's handy if you want to restrict yourself to things like the last 20 years worth of research. You type in a date here, or you can use the slider bars down here to specify your date range. If you just want it up to the current time, leave that blank and click refine, and what you get is everything that was published between 96 and this year. 7,600 articles. Okay, not bad. And you can see it's relocated right here, and we're just going to get rid of that again. Collection, that's mostly of use to librarians, specifically me, and it's not something you generally need to use. Language, I told you we'd talk about how to limit things just to one language. Now, unfortunately for me, the only language I really speak is English, but let's see what all languages represented in our list are. There's Portuguese, Spanish, a bunch of the usual, Persian, interesting. Undetermined language, well, that would be very interesting. Turkish and Icelandic. So, for example, if you want to find out what the Turks have to say and you read Turkish, click on that, and a case study of a Turkish dyslexic student learning English as a foreign language. Sounds interesting. Let's see what we got here. We've got the item. I'm going to open it up in a new window just to take a quick look at it. I don't see anything here that actually says the article is in Turkish, so let's take a look at it and see what we find. Yeah, the abstract at least is in English. Yeah, so the Turkish language was applied to that because not because it was in Turkish, but because it involves the Turkish language. Okay. Um, and after language then comes journal title. If you're looking for articles in a particular journal, that's how you'd narrow that down. Um, and then further on down here, they suggest new searches that you can use to maybe find more or different information on this. So that's the end of the search results tutorial. The next tutorial in the series is going to talk about your eShelf and how to save yourself time, energy, and trouble by using the features of that.